I'm State Representative Rebecca McClanahan. I represent House District 2, which includes Adair, Putnam, and a portion of Sullivan counties. I just appreciate all of you that are here this evening, the members of the panel, Mr. McManus from the Attorney General's office, and the officials from PSF. I really appreciate you being here. Dr. England from DNR as well. I appreciate certainly Don Summers, his former representative, Don Summers, that served before me in this seat. I noticed that Representative John Quinn was here, who he and I have served together in the legislature, and unfortunately he was turned out and not able to continue in that role. And so I just really appreciate this opportunity. I regret that I was not able to be at the Princeton event. I was in budget meetings in the Capitol, as I have been all day today, but I was able to make arrangements to leave there to come here this evening. And so I certainly have a commitment to be here and a commitment to the people of North Missouri. I'm a North Missourian. My mother was born in Putnam County. She was the 6th generation born in Putnam County. Her mother was the 6th generation born in Sullivan County, and I make Adair County my home. So I'm very much committed and have deep roots in the area that I represent in North Missouri. I just, as I have sat on Budget Committee, as I'm sure everyone in this room is very well aware, we are having pretty significant budgetary constraints. And it's a difficult process as we sit in Budget Committee. I'm also a member of an Appropriations Committee, which is a subcommittee of the Budget Committee. So I've been meeting long hours since January 4th to try to consider the issues related to the budget and the economic conditions here in Missouri, and certainly that's impacted by those across the nation. So I am intimately aware, intimately acquainted with the need for the maintenance of jobs in the state of Missouri, and certainly in North Missouri. And so it's so critical that we not only create jobs, but that we maintain the jobs that we have. And I know that the panelists can take that. I know that one cannot be a citizen of a state such as Missouri without being aware of the importance of that issue. So I would just like to express hopefulness that we're able to come to a resolution of these issues that are satisfactory to all of us concerned, all of us in this room as well, and certainly offer myself to any way that I can be helpful. I've heard from many people over the last few weeks, and am trying to catch up on responding to all of those, but certainly I'm hopeful that we can reach the resolution that is necessary and appropriate in this situation, and just appreciate all of your efforts in being here this evening. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have Kathy Smith, Mayor of Trenton.
Again, I thank all of you for coming, and it has been very informative for me this evening, and I hope for everyone else that's here. I would add perhaps a question, but also a statement. I think you can see there is a lot of concern about the jobs. There's a lot of families here that are concerned about their future, what's going to happen. I, as a city official, with the effect that Purdue Standard has on our economy, are very concerned about what's going to happen and that sort of thing. My statement, my question would be is, in working together to resolve some of these issues, what's the time frame? How quickly can some of these things be resolved so that people know if they're going to have a job next month, next week, the week after, is there going to be a school system in Newtown? Is Trenton going to be able to retain their local dealerships and those sorts of things? How quickly can we have some resolution as to whether there's going to be
PSF is interested in having them move with urgency in terms of providing the team members with the information they needed. And that really is a good expression of how we feel about it. We really want this process to move as quickly as it possibly can. So I can tell you I am urging right now that the team member give their prompt and speediest attention to the information that was provided to them last Friday, and that PSF, if there are questions from the panel members, that they provide those responses as promptly as possible.
Again, it's refreshing to see them to get some questions that I think we can get some pretty straightforward answers to.
I have a comment from Representative Guernsey and Senator Lawler. Since I'm their pilot, we had an airport weather restriction, so they could not be here tonight. But they're in full support of you, as you saw at Princeton a couple weeks ago.
If you look at the technologies that we have listed tonight, both the panel presentation as well as the presentation that Brian gave, and look at this process, there are we're at a critical crossroad relative to next generation technology and the determinations that will have to be made on the sprinkler system and the sustainable technology system. I think that based on our history and the data that we have gotten this week relative to the sprinkler system, it would be very unusual for this panel not to make final decisions on that, probably within the next 30 days. And on the implementation, the panel has made a decision that it is beyond our purview to impose any kind of restrictions that go beyond the deadline that is the deadline restrictions of the agreement. However, based on our experience with these technologies, we feel very comfortable with giving recommendations on implementation schedules once that next generation technologies have been made. In fact, if you look in the history of our minutes in motion, we have done that with some technologies that actually go beyond the July 2010 date. We will continue to do that because we don't feel like that is in violation of our responsibilities in this process.
Okay, Mr. McManus, a few more speakers.
Yes, I would like to make sure that people...
All right. I want to make sure that we have some members of the audience who get the opportunity to speak. I do want to say these gentlemen traveled a long way to come here, and it's been a long day for them, so I don't know that they'll be able to stay indefinitely. I am more than willing to stay, and in fact, have been given the instruction that if there are questions out there that I'm able to answer, I should stay and answer them. So that's my plan, but they may have to leave at some point. They have had a long, long day. Okay, thank you. With that being said,